Bonjour à tous, ici Sprullex et bienvenue dans ce troisième épisode de Let's Play sur notre broadcast. Et on continue avec bien, la troisième partie. Ça a été un peu compliqué dans l'épisode précédent, hein, j'avoue. Donc on va essayer de faire mieux là. Ça charge un peu. Oui, n'hésitez pas, hein, j'essaye de le faire en live dès que c'est possible. Donc ici, j'ai fait un petit live ce dimanche 20 pour les 3 premiers épisodes. Je vais faire d'autres lives au fur et à mesure pour avancer dans le jeu. Donc n'hésitez pas si vous avez envie de venir en live pour participer vous-même. Enfin, participer au niveau du chat, hein, bien entendu. Allez, on est parti. Vont-ils encore s'engueuler? Enfin, est-ce que les gens vont encore s'engueuler? Un jour 15 ou fin de soirée. Tu arrives à la salle de spectacle un peu en avance, mais Sam, sur son 31, est déjà là. Tu affiches un sourire béat en lui donnant la main alors que vous prenez place en loge privée. Tu pourrais vite y prendre goût. Les billets sont arrivés lundi, accompagnés d'une lettre de remerciement de Chris tapée à l'ordinateur. Tu devrais apparemment récupérer ton passeport dans peu de temps. Le spectacle n'est pas vraiment ta tasse de thé, c'est un opéra dans une langue que tu sais pertinemment Chris ne parle pas. En revanche, les boissons offertes passent toutes seules. Lorsque le spectacle s'achève enfin, pourquoi venir saluer autant de fois, tu fais la queue pour récupérer vos manteaux. C'est alors que Sam fait une imitation hilarante du chef d'orchestre agitant les bras à tout va. Le couple devant vous parle de gens qui n'ont pas réussi à payer les nouvelles taxes et ont dû déménager, cela a l'air terrible. Sam sourit avec gratitude alors que vous pensez tous les deux à Chris qui est à l'abri. De retour à la maison, tu en ris encore tandis que Sam monte se doucher avant d'aller au lit. Tu remarques cependant que ton fils de 14 ans n'est pas là et qu'il y a un mot sur la table de la cuisine. Pas de doute, il s'agit bien de son écriture illisible. Il dit qu'il est chez un ami. 14 ans. Il est à l'école demain, alors tu y vas et tu le ramènes à la maison, fissa. Lorsque tu arrives sur place, tu fulmines. En te voyant, Charlie disjoncte et te dit dans un langage très fleuri de te brosser pour qu'il rentre avec toi. S'ensuit une dispute mémorable devant ses amis et les parents de ce dernier. C'est atrocement gênant, tu présentes tes excuses et t'empresses de l'amener à la voiture. J'avais pas le choix de téléphoner aux parents directement en disant oui, est-ce qu'il est bien là, il devrait rentrer et compagnie. Alors que tu conduis, il se met à pleuvoir. Vous ruminez tous les deux sans dire un mot. Cette pluie torrentielle est la seule chose qui vient interrompre le silence qui règne dans la voiture. On peut savoir à quoi tu joues, Charlie? Il laisse échapper un soupir digne de quelqu'un qui a bien plus que 14 ans. Je veux être libre et faire ce qu'il me chante, mais pas ce qu'on me dit. C'est pas juste. Il a dépassé les bornes, tu décides de le priver de sortie. Il a déjà eu assez d'animosité ce soir, faut y aller mollo avec lui. Faut y aller mollo. Toi aussi tu as été jeune et puis c'est un bon gamin. Tu promets de ne pas en parler à Sam, il promet de son côté et en vous venant de ne plus recommencer. Ce que Sam ignore ne pourra par conséquent pas la blesser. Oui, non, ça non. Non, il faut le dire, mais bon. Ah, jour 42. Un petit rappel. Ah, tu feuillettes le courrier qui s'est empilé. Chaque facture supplémentaire te mine davantage le moral. Soudain, une touche de bleu t'interpelle. Tu reconnais le logo bleu canard d'Avens sur l'enveloppe, que tu déchires aussitôt. Chère famille Winston, ceci est une relance relative au plan de redistribution des actifs et des richesses. Nous vous prions de remettre vos passeports au bureau gouvernemental le plus proche dans les plus brefs délais afin de pouvoir vous inscrire au plan. Vous ne pourrez pas bénéficier de remboursement national tant que vous n'aurez pas présenté ces documents. Tu savais qu'il y aurait des conséquences, mais ça ne facilite en rien les choses. équipe, nous travaillons en équipe, nous sommes récompensés. Avançons ensemble, Julia Salisbury et Peter Clément. Chris va bien et c'est tout ce qui compte, du moins tu l'espères. Oui, enfin, il a dit qu'il allait rendre rapidement le passeport, et là, ça fait déjà un peu longtemps. Un Noël obligé serré. Tu ne peux pas t'empêcher d'esquisser un sourire en regardant autour de la table. Dehors, la neige a recouvert l'herbe et les enfants ouvrent un cracker de Noël, tandis que ta vieille mère lutte pour ne pas s'endormir. Tu as toujours adoré la période de Noël. Désormais, c'est toi qui sièges en bout de table à la place de Pat. Chris devait se trouver en face de toi, mais tu l'imagines bien sur la plage d'une île tropicale. Ton regard croise celui de Sam qui sourit et pense visiblement à la même chose. Même sans Chris, il a fallu réduire les dépenses de nourriture de cette année, mais personne ne semble y prêter attention. Noël peut véritablement être une période incroyable de l'année. Tu parcours la pièce et ta famille du regard. Tu passes un bon Noël, maman, tu dis rien ou tu portes un tous. Tu passes un bon Noël, maman. Ta mère te regarde avec un grand sourire comme elle en avait l'habitude. Oui, Pat, je passe un très bon moment. Sam la reprend avec tact. Cassandra, c'est Alex. Vous savez bien que Pat n'est plus parmi nous. Ah oui, c'est vrai, marmonne-t-elle, avant de redevenir immédiatement l'ombre de celle qu'elle était autrefois. Sam t'adresse un sourire bienveillant et serre ta main sous la table. Tu parcours la pièce et ta famille de regard. Je ne dis rien. Ta mère, dans un de ses plus rares moments de lucidité, regarde en direction de la chaise inoccupée devant. Avant de demander « Sam, Chris ne vient pas ?» Et tu fais un clin d'œil à Charlie tout en lui servant une maigre portion de pommes de terre. Sam répond calmement. Chris a dû s'en aller, Cassandra. Mais tout va bien et c'est grâce à Alex. Ton fils, qui regarde lui aussi la chaise vide, rajoute « Chris me manque ». Sam fronce les sourcils et pose sa main sur l'épaule de votre fils. Chris me manque aussi, il manque à tout le monde. J'espère que Chris sera là l'an prochain. Tu parcours la pièce et ta famille de regard, tu portes un toast. Pas le choix, hein. Tu te mets debout et lèves ton verre. Joyeux Noël tout le monde. Quelle joie d'avoir la famille au grand complet. Enfin presque. Tout le monde dit santé et trinque. Ta fille Suzy en profite pour te mettre au pied du mur. Tu sais comment tu pourrais faire plaisir à ta fille adorée? Tu la regardes d'un air perplexe et interrogateur. Je sens que la réponse ne va pas me plaire, dis-tu en plaisantant. Tu sais que mes amis et moi voulons partir en voyage cette année, pas vrai? Lance Suzy d'un air innocent. Alors je me disais que tu pourrais me prêter un peu d'argent. Tu éclates de rire. Je le savais, je suis télépathe, dis-tu en gloussant, tandis que ta fille de 19 ans lève les yeux au ciel. Tu aimerais pouvoir accepter sans te tracasser, mais depuis que ta mère a dû emménager chez vous, les choses sont devenues plus compliquées. Et combien il te faudrait au juste? 200, 300 tout au plus, marmonne-t-elle tout en jouant avec un petit poil dans son assiette. Tu parviens tant bien que mal à ne pas recracher ton vin chaud sur ta pauvre mère. Je sais que ça fait beaucoup, mon amour, lance Sam, mais le train, ce n'est pas donné. Et puis c'est une occasion unique pour elle, sans compter que j'ai déjà donné mon autorisation. Tu as raison, on va bien trouver une solution. Suzy a le sourire jusqu'aux oreilles. Vraiment, trop bien, merci, merci, merci. L'ambiance devient festive, Sam te coiffe d'un chapeau de papier et Charlie s'amuse comme un petit fou à lire les mauvaises blagues des crackers de Noël de tout le monde. La pièce est bruyante et remplie de rire. En voyant la famille comblée, ta mère te chuchote « pas ton été aux anges ». Tu sèches tes yeux avec ta serviette. Tu te dis que tu as beaucoup de chance. Très bien. On va essayer de faire plaisir, mais il faut trouver l'argent. Donc, faut s'appliquer. Un long week-end. La fortune actuelle, vendre l'autre rat. Non mais sérieux. Bon allez. Pourquoi la fermeture de cette fichue valise fait-elle toujours des siennes? C'est votre anniversaire de mariage. Chaque année, Sam et toi, vous partez en week-end, généralement en camping, vu que vous n'êtes pas plein aux as. Tu attends ça depuis longtemps. Enfin un peu de temps, rien que pour tous les deux. Pas d'enfants ni de travail, que des moments de calme, de paix et d'amour. La fermeture finit par se faire et tu traînes la valise bien remplie jusqu'en bas. Sur la table de l'entrée, le témoin du répondeur clignote. Ah, on va devoir bosser. Bonsoir Alex, c'est Monsieur Bosman. Je voulais te prévenir que tu allais devoir travailler ce week-end. Quel crève-cœur. De nouveaux éléments ont été révélés concernant les tensions grandissantes entre notre nation et d'autres puissances étrangères. Par conséquent, l'équipe du National Nightly News va devoir travailler jour et nuit pour avoir l'exclusivité. Il va sans dire que je compte sur ta présence demain matin à 8h pile. Passe une bonne soirée, Alex. Le choc fait place à la contrariété, puis à la colère. Que vas-tu dire à Sam? Dont ta conjointe. Ah oui, d'accord, c'est pour ça qu'il s'appelle... qu'elle s'appelle Sam. Enfin, il ou elle s'appelle Sam, c'est pour... alors, bon, ta conjointe te rejoint en bas, visiblement dans un état de surexcitation. Tout en t'embrassant, Sam prend les clés de la voiture dans le vide-poche et commence à charger les sacs dans le coffre. Tu ignores le message, ce week-end tu en as besoin, ou tu te confonds en excuses auprès de Sam, mais tu dois vraiment aller au boulot, mieux vaut éviter de contrarier Bosman. C'est dur, parce qu'on n'a pas le contexte. Est-ce que c'est la première fois? Est-ce que ça arrive toutes les semaines? Est-ce que... Bon allez, tu te confonds en excuses. Tu soupires longuement. Tu vas y aller, n'est-ce pas? Entends-tu derrière toi avant de te retourner? Tu te contentes de hocher la tête. Je comprends, tu as toujours donné la priorité à ta famille, mais parfois le travail passe avant le reste. Tu dois y aller, ça va, elle est compréhensible. Sam te serre fort dans ses bras, tu sens une vague de gratitude te submerger. Sous le coup de la déception, tu défais ta valise sans dire un mot. Eh ben, non, ça va. Je pensais que... Bah, si, on aura peut-être une autorisation parentale. Ton fils Charlie piaffe d'impatience tandis que tu lis. Tu te donnes à fond pour réussir, tu es un membre actif de l'équipe, tu veux récolter les fruits du travail réalisé en coopération. Alors rejoins sans plus attendre les fonceurs d'Advance, avançons ensemble. Il t'avait déjà parlé de cette maison des jeunes, mais ce n'est pas exactement ce que tu avais imaginé. Charlie reprend le prospectus et te tend un formulaire. Je pourrais y aller à pied directement après l'école et la sœur de Ben nous ramènerait en voiture. Tu n'aurais pas à lever le petit doigt. Tu signes l'autorisation et autorises ton fils à rejoindre les fonceurs de dance ou tu refuses de lui signer ce formulaire d'autorisation. C'est compliqué parce que là, je pense que c'est, je vais pas dire une secte, mais c'est du genre jeunesse hitlérienne et compagnie, pour formater les cerveaux des jeunes enfants à la dictature ambiante. Mais d'un autre côté, si je le fais pas, j'aurai peut-être des conséquences justement de la dictature ambiante. En plus d'être mal vu par mon fils. Bon allez. Mon fils est aux anges, cela fait chaud au cœur de voir qu'il peut apprendre sur moi, s'investir dans la communauté. C'est forcément une bonne chose. Je suis pas sûr que ce soit une bonne chose, mais on va faire avec. Des places gratuites. Alors, des collègues au boulot m'ont donné ça car ils ne peuvent pas y aller, explique Sam en brandissant 2 billets. Puis le titre écrit en gras, Alan James a raison, le spectacle. J'hésite vraiment. Et toi, ça te dit d'y aller? Il faut pas cracher sur les places gratuites, c'est un sacré personnage, au moins on devrait se marrer un peu, ou je ne sais pas trop, il est complètement taré ce type. Oui, il est complètement taré. Excuse-moi, réponds-tu, mais lors de la question que j'ai écouté ces conneries, ça m'éclate de rire. Ouf, j'avais peur que tu veuilles y aller. Vous décidez de rester à la maison et de manger une pizza. Tu n'as pas le temps à perdre avec Alan James. Très bien. On a esquivé une balle. Un partenariat avantageux. Après une journée de travail qui n'en finissait pas, tu arrives à la maison et tu trouves à nouveau le courrier trié en plusieurs tas, une récente habitude de Sam. Comme souvent, il n'y a rien de bien intéressant, hormis un courrier qui retient ton attention. Il figure le logo de plus en plus familier d'Advance, ainsi que la mention « Urgent, réponse immédiate exigée », dans un rouge qui traduit parfaitement l'urgence de cette injonction. Il vaudrait mieux en finir avec ça une bonne fois pour toutes. Chère famille Winston, par le présent courrier, nous vous informons que le gouvernement d'Advance vient de faire un pas en avant dans sa lutte contre les inégalités en nationalisant les plus grandes sociétés privées et en redistribuant leurs ressources aux citoyens de notre grande nation. Le programme d'obligation de partenariat nous permettra de nous assurer que le peuple ne soit plus spolié des richesses qu'il produit. Tu ne te souviens pas d'avoir lu ça dans leur manifeste. Chaque foyer deviendra partenaire d'une des 3 institutions soigneusement sectionnées par Advance. Pour le OB, Eye of the Beholder. Il s'agit de produits cosmétiques, de vêtements ou de couture, nous savons voir la beauté de tout notre vie. Nils, cette idée. On fait toujours de bonnes affaires avec Nils Frappadingue. Pleasure Corp, nous sommes là pour vous faire plaisir, qu'il s'agisse de sport, voyage ou simplement de passer un peu de temps seul. Impossible de dissocier le plaisir des loisirs. Mais allez, on va prendre Pleasure Corp. Merci d'avoir fait votre sélection. Veuillez renvoyer ce formulaire à l'aide de l'enveloppe fournie. Vous recevrez un rapport de vos partenariats dans 3 à 6 mois ouvrables. On dirait que même Advance ne peut vaincre ce fléau qui est la paperasse administrative. L'avenir de cette nation est dans le partenariat. Avançons ensemble, Julia Salisbury et Peter Clement. Quelle influence auras-tu au juste sur les choses? Allez, jour 111, 112, 109. Jour 153. On va devoir bosser un peu. Au moins ça donne un tout petit peu de fraîcheur, le fait que bon bah il y a des questions et compagnie qui font avancer l'histoire entre deux. Parce que s'il n'y avait que la partie audiovisuelle, d'accord, c'est marrant et il y a des trucs super marrants, mais ça deviendrait vite lourd. Et je trouve qu'ils ont donné trop vite tout le gameplay. Mais bon, ça c'est encore un autre problème. C'est-à-dire que bah, ils auraient dû d'abord commencer par les changements de caméra sur la première journée, puis bah, avec les bips et les interférences par la suite. Allez, que la difficulté monte crescendo. Et pas qu'on soit direct dans le grand bain. Excusez-moi. La tempête.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Total pimp. My god, that weather looks nasty.
Ok, donc mince. Faites examiner votre prostate. Tommy Harris explique pourquoi il est crucial de faire examiner sa prostate. Donc ça, ce sera... Mince. D'accord. Bah quoi? Quoi? Merde. On recommence. J'ai pas compris là. Échec de diffusion. Interrupteur. Ah merde. J'avais oublié le détail du fusible. Vous voyez, c'est des trucs... ils ont pas été assez dessus. Ok. Donc... alors, faites examiner votre prostate. Vérifiez la puissance. Merde.
Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Total pimp. My god, that weather looks nasty.
C'est mieux. Vérifiez la puissance. Mais allez. Ah. Merde. C'est l'inverse.
Five, four, three.
Good evening.
Ah.
I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol...
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
Without enough engineers to successfully fix their craft, the team seem likely to attempt to farm the cavern's ecosystem while they wait for rescue from above ground. I think I'll stick to risotto, Jeremy.
Bloodbath avoided. As the last of Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salisbury, who mobilised numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, would be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Table for 2. Johnny Hasleaves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are sceptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception, but others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Ok.
But first tonight, while Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short are investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan.
Voilà.
I'm here in moderate hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset
Sérieux,
Bentley,
c'est pas le
who were
moment.
relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are
Je sens qu'il y aura du
whitewashers.
juron là.
Untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry,
Voilà.
Robin, my
Il y
sister's
avait
under
du
a lot
juron.
of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with ribbons, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house? This grubby little gaddispatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine
Oh,
that.
purée.
Everyone's go up in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fuss's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you've asked the right wordy question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
Yep.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods.
Merde, j'ai raté.
And that's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel. We wage war on our revolting rulers with white
J'ai pas le temps de voir
rebellious
ce qu'il
writings.
disait, hein.
Our
Je suis
best guess
concentré
in our
sur...
quest to address is to divest our breasts in an undressed bare chest protest.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy!
D'accord.
Daddy, it's
Daddy!
something!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Carry home! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper cracked off too.
Well, at least you are showing some shame.
Free at last! Oh! Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy.
Thanks, Daddy.
He gets that from me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fudding well heard, that's all.
Language, Penelope. We are news, not rules.
J'ai raté
Sorry, Daddy.
le
We
jour.
want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stuff and piff-pop.
Oula. Oula, oula, oula.
Are you okay?
Daddy, how could you?
Well, shut up and get your
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one in the top legs, it's back to you in the studio. I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in moderate hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Let's
Can I get some and my cappuccino?
Quoi?
A lifetime.
Oh, you have.
Merde.
But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Oh, hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Oh, sorry, I'm busting. Oh.
Ok. Petite pause.
She's funny.
Yes, I know. I think it's very endearing.
She wants your job.
She's welcome to it. Why is it raining on my desk?
C'est compliqué, hein? Ah, voilà.
Alex, Bozeman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it.
No,
It's 6 p.m.
c'est
for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
D'accord, on doit faire attention de pas... Allez, 40 secondes.
Well, that's what it says.
Yes, I understand that, but I always say welcome back.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's something wrong with the auto cue.
10 seconds.
Oh, I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
You want to see us fry? It's good for the
Allez,
ratings.
5,
5,
4.
4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to...
Wasting away in the chair.
Ah,
First,
merde.
We're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Ellie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. Striker go first. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. D-Robe. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time.
Attendez.
On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker for shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing it under her legs. Not bad, if you ask me.
Is there contact? Don't know why you complain. To Harris.
Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Football. Move back.
I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the arguing with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense.
D'accord.
Striker giving it large.
Second round, double. Harris.
Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. I apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite nice. Yeah, all right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that a fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound.
Okay. C'est quoi ce délire?
Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket.
Je comprends rien à la partie là.
I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastery in display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, the boys said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds and 7 subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington Smith.
On my whistle, on my whistle.
Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security is on it. And the bucket has been knocked over. I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Final poses. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these two players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not bad. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on there. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. I'm all right, ladies. Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because, of course, if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to striker. And striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but, of course, perhaps... And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. So, here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact, a caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like... I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, there's sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? All right, I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters, hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. Nonsense is going on here. Yes, yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. Oh, jog on!
This is the mime round.
It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high-level play here from two absolute juggernauts of the sport. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me.
Encore 2 minutes à tenir. C'est une horreur.
She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on.
Illegal spit.
From striker.
Je suis resté trop longtemps sur le même plan.
But she's in it to win it.
Harris's ball.
On it like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's trying to... And the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is...
Attention. Allez.
Everyone! Okay, the ref has decreed once again a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon, looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I always have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon there had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh, yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
Oh putain.
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Très bien.
Boozman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge, and some of your controls might be a bit, dangerous. Now, I know you're tough, and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions. Boozman out.
Ah, je peux pas censurer les gens.
You're going to need a whole new lining up there. Triple C.
Well, Minister, it's so good to see you again.
Miss Wolf, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
D'accord. Oh, purée, ça va être compliqué, ça. Ah, je le sens qu'on est...
Am I here?
Here, with Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet.
Is your seat down?
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
Cheeky cow.
5,
Okay.
4, 3.
No!
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
Ouais, forcément.
It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
So much dripping on
Merde, oh.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera?
Oh,
there.
sorry, yes, it's chemical like that.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He was to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. And I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle.
Okay.
And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time.
Allez.
I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope. 3 days later, he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching TV.
J'étais obligé.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
You've just given me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from my asshole.
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter.
Yes. Sorry. My apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got a sapien. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, a raw shell face, fucker! That one was massive. Right, no.
Sorry, that the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of...
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
For fuck's sake!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
Ok, c'est
So
bon.
they just...
Oh purée, je suis mort ou j'ai raté?
It's my nephew, so we
Non,
transition.
je suis évanoui, j'imagine. Ok, E, C, E, ouais, ok, un diffusion D. Vous avez réussi un petit peu à payer. Fortune actuelle, vendre un non. Ça devient des atroces. Ah, bien ça. Et, ok, très bien. Eh bien, on va s'arrêter là pour cet épisode et on continuera dans le suivant. En attendant, eh bien, merci d'avoir regardé. J'espère que ça vous a plu. N'hésitez pas à me dire ce que vous en avez pensé dans les commentaires. Mettez des pouces en l'air, abonnez-vous pour ne pas rater la suite. Et portez-vous bien. Bye.